Hi everyone, I'm Ankur Mishra, and today I'll be speaking about a topic which is very close to my heart. It is called growing your career as a product manager. Now, there have been a lot of questions that I keep receiving on LinkedIn, on other channels as well, wherein people ask me that how do I start my role into a product management organization, or how is it that I can grow into my current role? So this next 45 minutes to 1 hour is going to help you understand how is it that you could venture into product management if you are new to it, and also if you are already an existing product manager in one of the organizations, how is it that you can grow your career. Now again, remember this part. There is no same path that two people can take and still succeed. You will have to go ahead and modularize some of these facts. You'll have to go ahead and build up certain muscle that allows you to grow in a different way altogether in different organizations. What I'm calling out in this PPT that you're going to see in parallel is how is it that I have been successful, I have grown through the ladder, and the work that I'm doing right now is in product management with some amazing things that I have the opportunity to build. So without further ado, we will get started with my introduction. I'm Ankur Mishra. I'm a director of product with Walmart. I am currently building cybersecurity products at Walmart. And this has been a wonderful opportunity for me in the sense that I was not always a product manager. What does that mean? It means that I was an accidental product manager who fell into being product manager after my organization said, you are a product manager starting tomorrow. Now, this was a fortunate accident that happened for me because in 2012, when I joined Deloitte, I had the opportunity to work for one of the clients who wanted a product manager instead of a SAP functional consultant that I was trained into. What did help me was my domain knowledge and understanding about the specific products that I would go on and work and then gain further expertise into it. So the journey may start differently for different people, but then ultimately it is up to you how you grow your career. I'm going to move on and speak about some of the things that we will cover during this next 45 minutes to 1 hour that we are speaking about. And remember this, I will be posting this on my LinkedIn, I'll be posting this on my YouTube. You could go to each and one of the avenues and ask your questions there. You could reach out to me directly on LinkedIn chat or comment on the YouTube channel to understand more about the questions that you might have. So what am I going to talk about? I'm talking about the PM career roadmap. How is it that you grow up the ladder? There are essential skills that you need to have at each career stage. If you have not started doing these things, start doing them right now so that you are able to grow and grow well. There are career challenges that you're going to get into. How do you navigate through some of those career challenges? I did put in something for question and answers earlier. I was trying to do this on a LinkedIn live, on a YouTube live, which did not work out, unfortunately. So I'm making this video, putting it across so that it could benefit more number of people who get to see it later at their time of convenience as well. So we will get started, and I want to start with this quote from Steve Jobs. This is something that has kept me going, has kept me moving in the direction whenever I feel that I'm not doing enough or I have not found what I'm looking for. I look at this quote. It says the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking, don't settle. And I think the whole opportunity into product management and how I have grown in my career is also very similar in nature. I am not ready to settle down to do mediocre things at times. I'm not ready to do things that do not interest me a lot at times as well, or do not pose a lot of challenge. It's not that I've not come across difficult stakeholders. It's not that I've not come across difficult situations, but what has kept me motivated is my passion to do wonderful work. And within the realm of the organization that I'm working, I have possibly seen it all. I've been associated with the organization for the last 5 years and have been working with them as consultants for so many years as well. So that gave me the opportunity to understand the in and out of how things work, and thus going ahead and making my mark was a different case altogether as well. I did not settle, and I would not want you to settle as well. But there is one fact that you need to look at, which is the most important thing. And the bold 100% that you see over here is what matters the most. You own your career and you are 100% responsible for owning your career. And just think about it. Who else is going to come in and do your dirty work? There are people who are probably scared of writing, they are scared of presenting, maybe they think they are not able to communicate well. Who is going to come in and work on these things? It's you. You have to be in that position that you go ahead, take the challenge up, because do not forget, you own your career. And again, in this organization that I work for, in my previous organization as well, this is a mantra that kept people going as well. I've seen people grow up the ladder because they knew what their strengths were. They accentuated the positives, they worked on their strengths while also knowing what their weaknesses are or the things where they have developmental areas. Finding the right mentor to help you understand those strengths and weaknesses was one of the key things that that was needed. I made sure that I had the right guidance from the right set of leaders at the right time, which allowed me to move in the directions where I was able to grow up the ladder as well. People who reach out to me, they ask me questions around how is it that I could grow into one skill or the other. You have to think holistically. You have to start work on each skill in parallel probably. So think about how is it that you can grow. Find a mentor who helps you grow in these skills as well. It's not that you could isolate some parts of it and just work on one and not the other. You need to go ahead and start thinking about how you could holistically build your career as well and grow your skills. We are next going to talk about the career path overview. So again, this part of the presentation is specifically for the people who are already into product management, but by no means it's only related to them. You as somebody who is looking to venture into product management should see what muscle do you need to build to grow up the ladder or even to get into product management for that matter. There are a lot of people who get into product management straight from B school. When they come in, they do not know or are pretty directionless as well in a sense of what is it that I can go ahead and do. There is something called Imposter Syndrome as well that happens to a lot of people, wherein they feel and they show that they know everything, I think, which is a big problem as well. But again, that is something that could be worked upon with the experience and the knowledge as people gain. So I'm going to take you through the career path overview. We are going to talk about the entry-level product manager, the mid-level product manager, senior level, and the leadership track. You have to understand each track will have some competencies that they work on. And as a bonus in this presentation, what I've also done is I've added the competency framework. So that is something that you could go back, look at your leisure, and see whether you map to those skill sets or not. So that next time on, when you go ahead and you apply for a job and you ask your boss for a promotion, you're able to check mark some of those things which you feel that you're doing really well, or the things that you need to work on. And as a proof, take it to your leader, your manager, and speak to them about, see, this is one skill that I've worked upon. Again, it's not easy to gain those skills. You tend to feel that I'm working in that direction, but you remember one very simple thing. If you are output oriented and not outcome oriented, at times you will feel that you are working in that direction, but you're not able to achieve them. So continue to work in that direction. I'm going to take you through the next slides and help you understand what an entry-level product manager does. So the entry-level product managers, if we are talking about them, entry-level product managers are the associate or the junior product manager roles. There are a lot of people who venture into product management from software development roles, from consulting roles. There are people who are coming in directly from B schools who are looking to do these kind of roles. For new people who are going to multiple organizations as part of cohorts wherein they go and learn some of these skills as well, they are looking for some of these APM roles. If you're looking to venture from one set of competencies to other set of competency within your organization, an APM role could be good for you. But what is it that you need to do in an APM role? You need to learn the basics of product development process. You need to understand how does discovery work. From discovery, how are you able to take it up to write a complete one-pager. From writing that one-pager, how you're able to groom that. From that grooming, how are you able to take it to development? And then finally, when the engineering teams have worked upon it, how is it that you're able to test and then take things to production? Now, as an entry-level PM, you may not be doing all those things. And it also depends on the kind of organization that you're working in, that you're able to do all of them, some of them, or more than what I just spoke about. But there are some basic expectations that probably your organization or your manager might have. And they might have more expectations as well. But some of the ones that I usually think a APM should do at a bare minimum is user research, data analysis, and project management. Now, it's pretty funny that I call project management over here. We are talking about product managers. We say, oh, these are two separate functions, product management, project management, and people confuse a lot between them as well. I say you should do a little bit of project management because when you're new, you're trying to understand the realm of the work as well. You're trying to understand what kind of impact you're going to make. So in that, you meet people, you understand about the timelines, you understand about the risks, and you also think about how is it that you could deliver things into production. One of the key skills or one of the key outcomes, I would rather say, that you should have while you are an entry-level product manager is that you should put things into production. And in my view, that gives you the most amount of satisfaction. If you're able to see a small feature go into production, I don't think there is anything better than that. And as managers who are watching this presentation as well, my advice to them is going to be make sure your APMs are able to gain that expertise, that experience by putting things into production, good or bad. I know quality is something that's uncompromisable as well. So make sure they get the opportunity to put things into production with good quality so that we do not get into a problem later. And there are multiple jokes that float around on LinkedIn, on other places as well, wherein the amount of mess that a APM can make, but those are all jokes. You guys do a very important job, and the amount of work that's needed from you guys is all the user research. In my organization, I have one slide that I usually prepare and show to some of the new entrants is what does a product manager do? I think identifying the customer is one of the most important things that people tend to forget that a product manager should be doing and should be doing it really well as well. So an APM, when coming into picture, should be able to do that research, should understand what the data is. If you're able to understand how is it that we are performing currently when the feature comes in, what impact it's going to make, I think half the work is done over there. Again, there are people who are new, who would want to get into APM roles. Keep looking for those roles. There are a lot that come. You could take up an internship opportunity within an organization to get into an APM role as well. Internship opportunities work differently amongst different organizations, so you need to keep looking for them. If there are people who are doing some of these cohorts, reach out to your network and also try to understand how is it that somebody can get you an internship opportunity to help get into an APM role. I'm going to move on to the next piece, which is the mid-level product managers. Now, these mid-level product managers are, I would say, the heartbeat of everything that happens in software development. They're sort of full product managers now. So the life cycle that I called out earlier, from discovery, getting to the backlog, to actually doing the development with the engineering team, and then finally, building those metrics, and then finally going into production and the post-production processes as well. This guy will be doing all of that. Now, the product manager who's in mid-level will also have the additional responsibility of doing stakeholder management. Now, who are the stakeholders that we are talking about here? These stakeholders are varied. So these are your business customers, your engineering teams, your analytics teams, your UX teams. We have a concept within my organization, something that we call 4 in the box. In a 4 in the box, essentially, there are 4 key roles who come together to make a decision, and then they decide on how is it that you could move things to production. These 4 functions or stakeholders that I'm calling about is a product manager who runs the 4 in the box, is the business who gives you the problem statement, engineering team who is the one who's responsible for building it, and very importantly, the UX team who is responsible for designing the experience. So all these 4, with the help of other functions like architecture, project management, program management, they are able to put something into production that makes sense, ties back to the OKRs, and are able to capture the impact. Now, a mid-level product manager would have essentially worked as an APM in the past, maybe are coming from a different organization altogether, trying to make their mark in this new organization. There are so many things that they're doing at a single moment. They're responsible for one product, probably at a time, which may have one Scrum team or more than one Scrum team as well if you're working in an agile based methodology. These mid-level product managers are also the bridge between the entry-level product managers and the leadership. So they are also providing some sort of mentorship to these guys and are helping with daily hand-holding activities in some sense or the other. But they are mature enough to look at a product end-to-end, but still learning their skills or learning their chops to do better within the organization as well and make their mark as a full-fledged product manager. I'm going to move on to the senior level product manager. When I say a senior level product manager, they go by multiple titles in multiple organizations. So they could be a staff product manager, a principal product manager, or a group product manager. Now, these guys are responsible for one or more products and sometimes own a full capability as well. So as a group product manager in my previous role, I held a portfolio which was responsible for all post-purchase journey in a specific market. What that meant was I was responsible for delivering results across multiple products, which would encompass of multiple stakeholders across areas. And I also had a team that reported to me. So I had the wonderful opportunity to build a team from scratch, which had entry-level product managers, some mid-level product managers, and then I was responsible for liaising with the engineering teams as well as some of the stakeholders who are at senior level. So as I call out, they're leading larger products and the product lines. Strategic thinking and vision setting is some of the key goals in this area. And also you mentor junior team members and are now starting to go ahead and lead teams. As you are now starting to lead teams, it also becomes very important for you to think about people leadership capabilities as well. Now, I was speaking to a product leader sometime in the past. He was at a much senior level, was a director or senior director level at that point in time. So I asked him, sir, what do you say? What's the biggest challenge in leading a team of product managers? So he very nicely said, I think the problem leading, or the good part and the bad part about leading a team of product managers, is that everyone has their point of view. And I just loved that answer because that's a fact. There are people who are going to come in with a strong point of view, are going to impress their points on the stakeholders, which may or may not fly, which may or may not impress people, but they will continue to work to make their mark as well. So just thinking about that answer over and over again, it was such an amazing answer, and I keep thinking about it whenever I'm leading my set of teams as well, that everyone has their own point of view, which I need to respect, which I need to understand, and then with every product manager, I need to act differently as well. These senior level product managers, they go ahead and report to the directors, the senior directors and the vice presidents of the world in their organizations, and are responsible for making sure that the numbers and metrics are moving in the right direction as well. So just thinking about the strategy that needs to be defined in their specific areas, the product strategy, the product market fit for their areas, all of that work falls under this senior level as well. Again, if I were to speak about the number of years of experience that a senior level product manager might have, would vary between 10 and 15 years. easily, and that's one very important thing, because they have through the years seen how products are built. They've seen how cross-functional impacts matter, and now they are ready to lead their teams as well. I'm going to move on and speak about the leadership level. This leadership level is where you're going to see your director of products, your VP of products, who are now working at an organization-wide level. These are the people who are responsible for defining the product strategy. So if you're somebody who is defining strategy for e-commerce for a specific market, or are defining strategy for your cybersecurity products, you are probably at one of those levels, and have a wider span of scope. You are somebody who is doing organizational leadership and has a company-wide influence. These leaders are those people who are responsible for the P&L, more or less, for the whole organization, and are making sure that the organizational strategy, the AOP, the OKRs, all of that, the LRP, the AOP, and the OKRs, they all match, and we are able to move in the right direction to with the initiatives that are taken to make the numbers move in the right direction as well. Now, it's a very important role which people earn in a lifetime, because the amount of responsibility that comes with this is huge as well. They influence senior leaders within the organizations, so their interactions are happening with the CXOs of the world as well. At the L2 or the L3 level within an organization, many a times you're going to see them present to the senior leadership group as well. So the pressure also mounts and is much bigger. They're the ones who are also helping define the organizational metrics. They are helping with the number of people who are going to work in an organization as well. So it all becomes more at a strategy level. The amount of product management really that happens over here is way more lesser. There are leaders who are going to be knee deep into doing their work as well. They're ready to get their hands dirty as and when needed. But I believe 90% of the work that happens at these levels is more at strategy, and the rest of it is at the product level. So this is the bonus piece that I was talking about next, which is the competency framework. Now, I'm going to spend some time talking about this, because this, in my view, is the most important piece of information that you can take back with you and implement some of these things. So if you're looking to be a product manager, what are the skill sets that you need to have? What is the muscle that you need to build in case you want to make sure that you are pursuing this? In case you are only thinking about being a product manager because it looks fancy, blingy from the outside, the pay packages are amazing, please go back and look at this slide, because this may change your decision as well. There are things that you may not be doing now or are not good at. You want to build that, or you may decide, no, this is not for me. So I want you to pay a lot of heed to these slides, in fact this slide, and make sure that whenever you go through this, you're able to look at each level perfectly well. So I have put across these 9 or 10 things which are part of the competency framework. I'll walk you through them one by one. Product strategy. Again, as an associate PM, you need to have the basic understanding of product strategy, and that should be enough for you. If your leaders are doing a good job in coming to you, sitting with you, and helping you understand that product strategy, so that you are able to build your features, your products accordingly, so that the numbers are moving in the right direction, I think that's enough work done from your end as an associate PM. A product manager is going to develop strategy for features or small products. A senior PM will craft strategy for major products or product lines, and then director of product and above, which I've notated with the plus of it, is going to set overall product vision and strategy for the company. So you see how, as we are going through the levels, things are changing and things are becoming more macro instead of more micro. User research. I think the user research piece is often neglected at a lot of places. We tend to, and this is a problem this is a bias that a lot of product managers carry with them, wherein they think they know what the user is looking at, and that leads to the failure in products as well. So you have to understand that user research at different levels means different things. An associate PM is going to assist in user research activities, while a product manager is going to conduct user research and synthesize the findings. Now, things will interchangeably get done between the associate PM and the PM, depending on the varied levels of maturity that the people might have. And again, this is a guideline. This is not followed to the T, but you are going to think about, if I am an associate PM, if I've started conducting user research, am I already working at the next level? And that would be a good time to go back and speak to your managers for a promotion. A senior PM is going to lead to complex user research initiatives. It is very important that you understand that the senior PM is leading a bigger portfolio. That means that it's not going to be a single piece of research, but multiple researches done together, and the amount of data that's going to come in and how you're going to synthesize this is going to be different as well. So you will look at an organization-wide thing where you understand, if I were to make this decision, what are the other things that will get affected? So a senior PM in most cases is doing that. And then a director of product and above is going to establish the user research methodologies for the organization. If you need to hire somebody from the outside to do it, or if you need to have marketing research agencies get employed, if you really need internal users to do this job for you, the director of product and above is going to help define that part and give you a direction to move forward. I think the next part is the most important part of it, data analysis. There is so much data that's generated on a day-to-day basis. If you're not able to analyze that and put it in the right place and derive the right information out of it, I believe that's most of the battle lost. You need to very clearly go ahead and perform basic data analysis at an associate PM level. While at a product manager level, you need to make informed product decisions using that data. Senior PM is going to lead data-driven initiatives across their products, and then the director of product is going to implement data strategy across the product organization. Just think about it, right? It's natural progression. If you were to put any other thing over here, you will go ahead and progress in the same way as well. And again, if you look at all the other pieces as well, it's very similar in nature. You're doing absolute basic things as an associate PM. As at a product manager level, it's the next level. At a senior PM, you grow further, and a director of product, you are doing something which is shaping how your organization works altogether. So that's a lot of work that's going on within an organization as well. There are people who try to jump hoops faster. They try to do all these things faster. They may go and grow in one area or the other. If you are at a director level or above, you are looking for candidates who have grown in all these directions collectively, or have shown enough maturity and enough acumen to go ahead and grow in this manner. So I'm going to talk about a couple of more things over here, and which I feel is absolutely important. One is the business acumen. So the understanding of basic metrics is what starts with the associate PM. So I work in the cybersecurity area at this moment. This is the first time that I'm working in cybersecurity, but what do I bring to the table? I bring to the table good knowledge of product management. I bring to the table good knowledge of how OKRs are done, how AOP is done, how is it that you are able to derive strategy for the products. If I were to go ahead and make versus buy decisions, I know how that could be done as well. So the business idea at a director level and above is to holistically understand the organization and then make decisions accordingly. While at an associate PM, and a senior PM level, you will work to contribute back to the business strategy, align yourself with the product goals and business objectives. And then as director of product and above, you're going to shape business models and strategies that help you grow in that specific area. The last part that I'm going to talk about is prioritization. Generally, what happens in a lot of organizations is, how does prioritization work? People who are shouting the loudest are the ones who get prioritized at times, but that's not something that the leaders are looking for as well. If you are getting in that pressure of prioritizing for people who are shouting the loudest, you are failing your organization. So as an associate PM, um, you are just going to you're going to prioritize the personal tasks effectively, and that's enough for you at this moment. And as a product manager, you're going to prioritize features by understanding, by taking one of the frameworks like the RICE framework, and you could go ahead and look at the Keno model. There are other methods which you could utilize to prioritize. Prioritizing across multiple product lines is what the senior PM is going to do. So a senior PM has 5 people working under him or her. They are going to go ahead and look at all priorities. They're going to look back at the OKR that they are trying to solve for, and then pick and choose things according to what makes most sense, and also the engineering bandwidth to ensure that the right set of results are given back at the end of the sprint or at the end of the quarter if you are going ahead and prioritizing that way. The director of product and above are going to set the prioritization framework for the organization. So if I were to define what is it that my product managers do, I would go ahead and tell them, utilize the RICE framework. This is the amount of weightage that you need to give for your enhancements or your interfaces. How is it that you're going to grow and do this job? So again, the responsibilities change per level. Responsibilities change per competency. This is a set of competencies that I feel are very important, and I have put them here on the table for your reference. Please go ahead, read through. If there are others that you think that I might have missed, feel free to pass it on to me, and I would be very happy to add them. Maybe not on this slide, maybe on the next slide, but I've tried to utilize this slide to the max as well, and use the left corner to the right corner very effectively to do this. Again, this is what I wanted to cover from a competency framework perspective, but I want to move on to the next very important thing. You have understood what happens within the organization. You have very well understood how is it that you can grow within the organization. But then there are multiple career challenges that are coming your way at this moment. How is it that you can navigate through these common career challenges that come your way? Let's look at them. I call this out. Imposter syndrome, and that happens to the best of us. You are looking to do things that you don't know about, and it's going to fail you at times as well. But do not fall prey to the imposter syndrome. Try to learn, try to build competency, try to build your muscle in areas that allow you to grow to the next level. If you continue to fake it till you make it, it may take you a longer amount of time. Go ahead, speak to your manager, talk about how is it that we can grow your career in the right direction, because it's okay to seek help. If you're not seeking help, you are going back and not helping yourself, and you're delaying your progress. You need to learn how to balance the stakeholder demands. So the stakeholders are very tricky, very picky at times. You may feel somebody is on your side, but they will go back and say something else to your leader altogether, or in a different business meeting, and you'd be like, what the heck happened? So, and we face those stakeholders everywhere. We know such people everywhere as well. So you need to balance out the stakeholders' demands. You need to make them feel happy. At the same time, you need to work on things that make more sense for the organization as well. Again, when I say you need to make them happy, it doesn't mean that you bring them a box of chocolates or a bouquet of flowers. You need to go back and explain what you're doing, why you are doing. If you bring numbers with you, I'm almost sure 99% of them are going to understand what you're talking about. Be in that mindset of explaining people and getting it done by yourself. If you're not able to do it yourself, go ahead and speak to your manager to convince the stakeholder. And again, I keep on saying this, it's okay to seek help. And it's always good to keep your manager informed in certain things, so that if things go south, it's not the first time that you're telling. So keep that in mind. The next part that I call out is measuring impact. If you're not able to very clearly understand why you are doing it, there's no point in doing it as well. So again, it goes back to the imposter syndrome point as well. You are, if not able to understand what metrics do I go ahead and measure. If you're not able to understand why I am doing it, if you're not able to go ahead and speak to a stakeholder, you're not doing justice to yourself. Leverage help, again, go back. This is something that's going to pull you back from doing good work, and that's not prescribed at all. As a product manager, the next challenge is an important one. You have to keep yourself up with the technology. In this new age world of AI, I feel that I was late to the game as well. I started reading. There is a lot of knowledge that I've amassed now, but it also comes with experience. I've read something, I've tried to implement it, and it's been working really well for me. But how is it that you keep yourself abreast with all the information, all the knowledge that's coming? I would say invest in reading. If you are able to go ahead, and reading does not mean that you pick up a book and read. It's okay to read e-articles and everything that's available online. But also make sure you're using good resources, right set of people to listen to and do this work. Because if you go ahead and listen to somebody who's just saying it wrong, it does not help you at all. So keep in mind, you have to keep yourself abreast with everything new. Not everything is going to make to the next level, but if you understand the top 10 trends, top 3 trends, top 5 trends within the industry, and you are able to bring that back to your organization or gain impact from that, I think that's a wonderful thing that you can do to yourself. As a product manager, I think this thing happens the most is influencing without authority. There are a lot of places where people say, why is a product manager needed? I can do it myself. There are engineering guys who are going to come in and say, I was doing this very well. Why did a product manager come in? Or there are leaders who are going to come in and ask, what value is product manager going to add? You need to go back and present them data and numbers that actually help them understand the impact that you are making. You will start, and trust me, as a product manager, and that has happened to me more than once. I am building a new product organization, not for the first time, and people have come back and asked me, like, what impact are you going to make? They start seeing the impact slowly. You have to give it time as well. But then again, there are certain processes, there are certain things that you need to continue to do. You need to showcase your work at the right time. There are tasks that you need to do, and Shreyas Doshi calls it out. There are 3 kinds of tasks that you need to look at. Excuse me. You need to leverage. There are tasks that are leverage tasks that you need to do. These leverage tasks are going to take you from, let's say, X amount of input to 100X or 10X amount of output. There are neutral tasks which you do, which are going to take you from X input to 0.1 times the output at the most. And then the third types of task is the overhead tasks, which are not going to give you the impact that you're looking for. So go ahead and understand your leverage tasks, understand what's going to give value, understand what give you good amount of optics as well. And it's an important piece. And unless and until you are able to categorize your work in all these things, you will not be able to do a good job in explaining to people or making them understand what kind of impact you are making. So it's an important piece altogether, and we can speak about it more in a different session altogether. But impact, execution, and optics, I think these are 3 very important things that Shreyas Doshi also calls out, and I have just picked it up from one of his talks as well, that I totally believe totally makes sense in making sure that impact is called out. You have to avoid burnouts. You just cannot go ahead and do things that give you outputs while you are not able to achieve outcomes. That's going to burn you out. Prioritize your tasks. Make sure you are looking to do something that makes an impact. It's moving a metric. If not, you're going to fail, and you're going to fail miserably. So leverage help to know that very clearly. The last part is navigating company politics. And I would say that happens everywhere. It's not that you'll be able to bypass it. You have to understand how is it that you will work with it. You have to understand how is it that you do not fall prey to some of that as well. If you're doing good work, you will not fall as prey to some of these things. So prioritize well, understand what are your leverage tasks, understand tasks that are good to make impact, and people are going to come in and appreciate the things that you do. Now, that was The last thing that I wanted to cover in this chat, in this discussion, there are so many things that I've talked about. I do want to summarize some of those things in the end. I've spoken about so many things related to how you grow your career. How is it that you, as an entry-level personnel, what are the skill sets that you need to bring in? How is it that you grow your career from an entry level to a mid-level to a senior level to a director plus level product manager? What are those skill sets? I spoke about the competency framework. Please go back and look at that competency framework as well. I spoke about how is it that there are things that are going to impact you from a daily basis. How is it that you navigate through some of those? Again, thank you so much for listening to me. There is more that I will cover in more sessions. I wanted to do this as a YouTube live, but I just could not succeed in that. So I'm just going ahead making this video, as I said. I want to thank you all for listening to me. Please go ahead, subscribe to my channel. There are more things that are coming, that are on the way, and I'll do my best to explain it to you in the simplest possible way. Thank you so much again. All the best in your careers. Reach out to me on LinkedIn. You're going to see the link on my profile if you're watching it on YouTube. If you're on LinkedIn, please say hi, comment on this video. See you guys. See you later. Bye.